Well, everybody. It's date night with the Mr. and the Mrs. B, and here we are.
Date night.
Date night.
Tonight's an interesting one.
So we're gonna get right into it, right? We're not gonna do a whole lot of intro and all that stuff. But actually, yes, we have to do a little bit of an intro. We always have to do a little bit of an intro. So the intro was, um, we've had a couple episodes in the past where we talked about, dirty talk. Do you engage in a dirty talk and all that stuff?
What did we talk about last week?
And then last week we talked about how with the when it comes to the intimacy part.
Mm-hmm.
So tonight's episode, shh, keep it down. Now for those of you, it's exactly what you think I'm talking about. So check this out. A lot of couples. I mean, we've said it before. There's just this thing that opposites truly do attract. And you find in many relationships that we're talking about the intimacy part of it. And how, let me ask you the question. Which one of you guys, if you're in a relationship, you're in a couple, which one of you is the loud one and which one is the quiet one?
You're the loud one. For real.
Yeah, that's right. Try to pass it off on me. But
I'm the quiet one.
Okay, you guys.
I'm so quiet.
You guys really believe that? Okay. Now that we got past that, because I see all you guys doing. No.
Only for those who know me. You know I'm quiet. I'm always really quiet.
Yeah. So, but especially those of you, the couples that might have kids in the house, and I know it's normally an awkward thing, because now if you met another person that's just as quiet and is on the same page with you, way to go.
But
But
what about, not only little kids, sometimes you get your grown ass kids living in your house too.
yeah, you got adults, or
Uh-huh.
so there's somehow, when it comes to sex and intimacy, people get, it's a real, such a taboo subject that we put in our minds, that it's almost something should feel ashamed about, or it's always something that we need to, especially when we have kids, we try to prevent them or protect them from knowing that we have intimate times. And sometimes, even if you go along with the flow, there's that little bit of awkward feeling that, you know the kids can hear you, or someone can hear you, just anyone, a hotel room. A hotel room somewhere in Chicago, maybe, where people are banging on the wall, maybe. And, what do you do at that point, right? So,
You're louder. I mean,
yeah.
because they're basically telling you, shh, keep it
Keep
down.
it down. So, but what happened, it's like whenever I talk to couples about, their intimacy, there's normally one that's louder and one is really, really concerned about someone else knowing what's going on in the room. So if someone outside the room isn't saying, shh, keep it down, your own partner many times is telling you to keep it down, keep it down.
Well, if I'm in my house and somebody comes to my door to tell me to keep it down, we got problems. That's all I have to say.
Yeah, then
Nobody should be out my door telling me to keep it down.
What if it's the next door neighbor?
My next door neighbor better not be knocking on my door.
Shh, keep it down, keep it down.
Exactly.
But you guys understand exactly. I told you we were going to have fun with this episode tonight. But, you guys understand exactly where we're coming from. So here's the question. How do you have a conversation about that and still get into a nice, meaningful, intimate relationship if one person is really conscious about the noises or the levels? How do you go about that? Because what's going to happen is going to take away from your heightened sensitivity, your heightened intimacy. It's going to take away from that. Don't you think so?
Yeah, just like, yes.
Well,
Yeah, I'm just thinking, like, how can you tell somebody, keep it down?
But sometimes they don't even have to say
I know, I
keep it
know.
down. Sometimes just their actions alone, you know, takes away from it. Now, we talked in the past about relationships getting, stale, or people just going through the motions. And we've mentioned that, people getting complacent. I've mentioned it actually within the book about how that complacency happens within a relationship. But that's part of what will drive you to that point too with the intimacy. If you're really too driven and too focused. Now, if you're really, 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 really concerned, let's say within your household, within your bedroom, about people, hearing or being embarrassed to face people, which what
Just cover your mouth.
hey,
Just kidding.
that could be a turn on in some
I'm just
instances. But what do you do?
that's difficult when you're in the moment of the excitement.
Yeah.
You know.
And I appreciate for those of you that saying, Mr. B, that's a real tough question right now,
Mhm.
because we're faced with that.
Yeah.
Where within our household we have little kids, and this and that and the other. We have
Yeah.
impressionable kids or teenagers in the house, and you
Teenagers.
really trying to
Mhm.
calm it down, right? Now, of course, if you're like us, we don't give a so if you don't like it, we actually have bags of cotton balls. You can stuff some cotton. And as a DJ, I have all these earplugs, so it's available for the taking, and you can plug your ears. But we're not gonna not do that. It's natural. It's how they came into this world. You know what I'm saying? So, but I do get it. It's a real tricky conversations, and not everybody's gonna be like us. But you can have the conversation about it. You know, if at any point maybe a change of scenery, if you experience this, maybe a change of environment, a change of scenery, where you can let loose a little bit at a time, because you need that deep expression. You know what I'm saying? Every relationship, when it comes, especially where there's intimacy, you need those moments of like that, pardon the pun, deep connection, right?
Yeah.
And so if you have an uncomfortable situation within your household, either send the kids out on a sleepover. We know with pandemic you couldn't do that. Or take a weekend off, or a night, just one night at a hotel.
I think you should just talk to your kids. That's what you need to do. And tell your kids, listen, if you hear mommy or dad making a little bit of noise in the middle of the night, that means they're having a good time. Okay?
Some people have a tough time even having that I tell you, there's this thing about around intimacy and sex that is so taboo. It's tough to have these conversations.
Yeah.
But it has to start somewhere.
Yeah, and all seriousness apart, I mean, I'm joking and stuff like that, you know. However, I will say your intimacy is extremely, extremely important in your relationship. And, you know, even like, and I say little things like this, and it may not be little to you. I mean, not, little, like it little to you, but, and it might be little to me in the sense that maybe you do need to talk about, working on your, being a little too loud, in other words, I mean, like I said, it's excitement and it's the truth.
Let's face it, a rock sculpture doesn't become a sculpture just overnight.
Mm.
Normally, an artist who works on a rock sculpture is chiseling a little bit at a time. So not having that level of intimacy is just like, but it works the opposite. It's chiseling away at your relationship. And then what happens is all of a sudden it takes a shape that you don't even recognize anymore.
Yeah.
It might have started off something beautiful when you were dating, but when the kids come around, and folks, I'm not trying to make it seem like the kids are a problem, but then there's some people that worry about, if you're in an apartment building and you worry about the person next door to you, or because, oh my gosh, I gotta face that person in the morning, or what if that person sees me in the hallway, they know what I did last night. There's people that suffer with that level of anxiety, and guess what? You're bringing that into your relationship. So you got to at least have a conversation. Change the scenery. Now, you want to be careful that it's not every 6 months you're changing scenery. Because yes, you may have the intimacy within your space, and you may keep it quiet and you don't allow to express yourself really fully, get really engaged, but then take it someplace where you can, if providing
That you
that
can.
that happens to you,
Yeah.
and if you can, and yes, with people losing jobs and all that stuff, I get it, but try to be creative in that change of scenery, you know um, sneak a little quickie here and there. The kids go out to the house, send them outdoors somewhere or whatever, and say, okay, don't come back in the house for.
So I want to ask a question. So in our post, like our video post, I would like to hear from some of you that actually keep it down. So
Yeah,
you don't like give ideas to others, if that's something that they struggle with.
yeah, yeah. No,
Give
definitely a good
examples.
question to ask. And again, what we're encouraging is a conversation,
Mm-hmm.
and we'll tell you how to start the conversation, and we'll give you suggestions. I mean, this is not carved in stone, but we'll give you suggestions on how to go about it, how to get things started up. So
Shh.
I know, right? Sometimes we do that to our kids all the time, right? Shh, keep it down. But yeah, we want them to keep it down. So, Mrs. B,
Yes.
you're gonna talk about how we normally end, but you're gonna tell people what how we normally end.
Well, they gotta love up on each other.
But shh,
Oh,
keep it
shh.
down. No,
Keep it
don't.
down.
No, don't keep it down. Don't keep it down. Seriously. Um, but like she said, love up on each other.
And be loud. Totally be loud about it.
Let loose. All right, everybody. Have a great weekend. Love up on each other, like Mrs. B said.
Good
And
night.
we'll see you guys next time.